Hi guys, and welcome to The Truth Hurts with me, Tony Quinn. The Truth Hurts is a show about recovery and everything in between. And things are kind of weird today because Jules and Rhino aren't with me. We are all self-isolating and only going out when it's necessary, and I do believe that's something we should all be doing at this time. Anyway, I could sit here and discuss the virus and what's going on in South Africa, give predictions, say what I've heard, say what I've read, but there's enough fake news going around for everyone, and I do not know enough to be able to comment on it. What I do know is mental health. And I feel like at this time, with isolation, feeling alone and vulnerable, probably more vulnerable than we've ever felt in our life, it's a time we really need to take care of our mental health. I've been thinking a lot about it, and I've been thinking about addicts and recovering addicts at this time, especially those who base their recovery on Narcotics Anonymous and Alcoholics Anonymous and support groups like that. The most important thing about support groups is being around other addicts and being around other people. It's the interaction with these people, communication, hugs, knowing you're not alone, and the physical touch in these things, holding hands during the serenity prayer at the end. They are so important. It makes you feel connected, and it makes you feel like a community. And that's been taken away for good reason. I mean, most people in Narcotics Anonymous and Alcoholics Anonymous are immune compromised, are older, and are physically ill, especially the people who are in their first 30 days, first 90 days of recovery. I mean, and that's the hardest time to be in recovery. That's why the rooms work. Hey, we've got a Waffles with us. That's the one thing I love about isolation, I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, the contact required in these rooms are really important. And now again, that's been taken away from us. So I'm really worried about recovering addicts during this time, and the threat of relapse is really, really real, and the threat of mental breakdowns is really, really real for these people. And I think after doing some research that the best way to get through this would be through NA online meetings. And I know a lot of people that have done it in the past, and they really, really work well. And they create a community with people all over, people in America, people in South Africa, people in Australia. And you can find them online if you visit NA. I think it's na.org. And you can join those communities and you can go to those meetings online. Another thing that I feel is really important and something we can do during this time is to use this platform as a way to create community, a way to create dialogue, and a way to keep us busy. And what I'm thinking of doing is going live at certain times and having you guys come on the channel and let us know what's going on for you, what you're doing to keep yourself busy through this time, what you're doing to keep your mental health intact, and what your fears are. And we can communicate with one another. You guys can go live with me. We can do Skype meetings with people. And that's something I want to focus on now, and something I think is really important and something we need. You know, we use social media right now really negatively. We're going online, we're reading articles about what's going on, and there's a lot of fear-mongering and a lot of fake news. And it's making us sick. It's making us ill. So to use social media as a way to create community and use it positively, as opposed to using it the way most of us, I know personally myself, I've been using it. So we need to create this community, and I think this is a good way of going about it. A few other things I've been thinking about is people with depression right now. After chatting to a few guests, I know how consuming depression can be, and I understand how isolation can absolutely destroy someone with depression. And the thoughts that are going to seep into the subconscious and the conscious right now are going to be overwhelming. So again, an online community is so vital and so important. So personally for me at this time, in regards to eating disorders, I found myself coming home from work one day, this was last week, and I had spent the day looking at news articles, thinking about what I could do to help other people, worrying about my family, worrying about my friends, and it consumed me. And I came home thinking about it, and I got super emotional. I mean, I think I even cried about it, which is quite rare for me. And I sat down, and all of a sudden the thoughts stopped. And I heard a voice I hadn't heard in a really long time. And it was that anorexic voice creeping into the back of my mind. And it started to overwhelm me. And I started to think about my weight. I started to think about what I look like. And those thoughts of self-destruction and self-hate started to come back in. And it lasted for a good 2 to 5 minutes. And eventually I pulled myself out of it. And I took a deep breath and I started to unpack why I was feeling this. And it occurred to me that the reason I'm feeling it is because I'm vulnerable, and we're all vulnerable. And eating disorders are smart. Anorexia is fucking clever. And it knows when you're at your most vulnerable, and that's when it comes in. And it distracts you from what you really should be concerned about, from what you really should be thinking about. And it makes getting through the reality easier in a sense, because you're more concerned about yourself and you've got something else you can focus on. And it's so negative and it's so destructive. But acknowledging that and being aware of that gave me back my power. It gave me the power over the disease, and I know I can fight it. And again, things like that concern me. They concern me for you guys out there, for myself. So these online forums are really, really important for that again. So all our mental health issues can be faced, can be discussed, and can be helped if we reach out to each other. So during this time, guys, it's so important we reach out to our friends and our loved ones and check in on them. Ask them if they're okay. And we reach out to people who are going through the same things as us, and we get advice. We tell people what we are doing to cope. We tell them what tools we're using that are helping us. And we create a dialogue. And that's the aim of this channel right now, and I think that's my way of kind of being able to contribute to what's going on. It's the only thing I know. It's the only thing I know I can help with. So let's try it. If you would be interested in joining the online forum, in going live with me, in sharing your thoughts, please let me know and we can set something up. Let me know if you would be interested in the live videos, and write it below, DM me, and we can start this project. So yeah, I wish you all the best right now. Please be safe, please be vigilant, and most importantly, be kind, because that's what we need right now. We need humanity to actually be more human than they've ever been before. Thanks, guys, and hopefully we can get this going. Cheers.